Eternalism for Beginners, Unit 24, Overview Quiz. Welcome to the Unit 24 Overview Quiz. This short quiz will reinforce your understanding of the Gospel and the philosophy of eternalism. You'll start by answering 2 true or false questions, each with a brief explanation. Then we'll wrap up with 2 short assignments. First, we'll define the 6 key terms from the Unit 24 chart on the origins of morality and rights. Then we'll revisit the bonus question from the Unit 22 Overview Quiz by identifying the missing key factors in each of the 3 deserted island scenarios. In this exercise, there are 2 true or false questions. Question number 1, true or false? Moral absolutes and inalienable rights are objective because they come from God. Answer, false. Explanation. Though claimed as objective, God-based morality and rights rest on divine decree, reflecting the primacy of consciousness, not existence. True objectivity requires grounding in reality, not in will or command, even divine. As Elder D. Todd Christofferson stated, his commandments are the voice of reality. Question number 2, true or false? The eternalist or reality-based view sees morality and rights as discovered, not declared. Answer, true. Explanation. Unlike God or state-based views that impose morality and rights by authority, the eternalist view holds they are discovered through reason, grounded in human nature and reality, not simply declared. As Elder Kenneth Johnson put it, natural laws, morality and rights, were not determined on the basis of popularity. They rest on the rock of reality. In dealing with the origins of morality and rights, we use 6 terms that I promised we would define in the overview quiz episode. So let's do that now. The first 2 terms, moral absolutes and inalienable rights, are associated with the God-based view of the origins of morality and rights, so we'll start there. Moral absolutes say, right and wrong come from a higher authority, thus duty ethics. If right, then good. Inalienable rights imply authority and permanence, but still depend on which God and which religious faith. The second 2 terms, moral imperatives and individual rights, are associated with a reality-based view of the origins of morality and rights. So we'll turn to those next. Moral imperatives say, right and wrong arise from the conditions required for human flourishing. Thus, value ethics. If good, then right. Individual rights are objective and defensible, rooted in facts about human nature, not faith or decree. The last 2 terms, moral relativism and state-granted privileges, are associated with the state-based view of the origins of morality and rights. So we'll end with them. Moral relativism says, right and wrong depend on culture, opinion, or personal preference. Thus, if I like it, it's good and right for me. State-granted privileges imply permission, not principle, and depend on which regime is in power and what it chooses to allow or mandate by decree. Now that we've walked through each of these distinctions on the chart, this completed chart brings it all together. The core difference is this. In the God-based view, moral absolutes and inalienable rights are simply declared, accepted on authority. In contrast, the reality-based view holds that moral imperatives and individual rights are discovered, derived, and provable, making them objective, not just subjective assertions rooted in religious faith or dogmatic creeds. The eternalist reality-based view is the only provable source of objective morality and rights because it's grounded in the primacy of existence, not the primacy of consciousness, like the God-based and state-based views. This is where our 2-tier thinking tool brings clarity, especially when we recall the Savior's response to the Pharisees. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. That principle helps us ask, which has primacy, morality or man? The God-based view gives primacy to morality, leading to moral absolutes imposed on man. The reality-based view gives primacy to man, from which moral imperatives are discovered. Likewise, which has primacy, rights or man. The God-based view places rights above man, treating them as untouchable absolutes. The reality-based view sees individual rights as arising from man's nature and needs. These primacy questions help cut through confusion and bring clarity to the debate over the true origins of morality and rights. Let's now move on to the next item on our agenda. In the Unit 22 overview quiz, we reviewed the 5 key factors that must be in place for rights to be relevant. First, an objective, reality-based foundation. Second, rights holders. Third, rights violators. Fourth, a level of recognition and respect. And fifth, enforcement framework. We explained the importance of each factor and then, as a final exercise, asked everyone to consider the following 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, a woman stranded alone on a deserted island. Scenario 2, a pregnant woman stranded alone on a deserted island. In Scenario 3, 2 women, 1 pregnant, stranded on a deserted island with a ruthless, merciless pirate. We noted that each scenario lacks at least one key factor, making rights either irrelevant or meaningless in practice, and then asked, can you identify which of the 5 key factors are present and which are missing in each case? Let's now turn to the results of that exercise. Below each of the 3 scenarios, you'll find the 5 key factors required for rights to be relevant. If any one of these is missing, rights don't apply because the conditions for a rights-based habitat necessary for human survival and flourishing don't exist. As noted earlier, none of the scenarios qualifies as a rights-based environment. Your task was to identify which factors are missing in each case. To begin, the foundational objective basis for rights is present in all 3 scenarios, because this basis exists within every human being, regardless of context. Each scenario also includes rights holders, so we're good on the first 2 factors. However, in Scenario 1, 1 woman alone, there is no actual or potential rights violators, so rights become irrelevant. In Scenario 2, pregnant woman alone, the same applies. There is a potential future rights holder, but still no actual violator, so rights don't function in this context either. In Scenario 3, 2 women plus a ruthless pirate, there is a rights violator, so this raises the stakes. But even here, 2 more key factors are still missing. First, there is no society with shared recognition or respect for rights. Without a community that acknowledges rights, civilization breaks down into mob rule or chaos. Second, there is no enforcement framework, no government, courts, police, or structure to uphold rights, especially in Scenario 3. This absence makes it clear that might makes right prevails, not justice. In all 3 cases, 1 or more essential factors are missing, making rights irrelevant or unenforceable. Knowing which factors are absent and why is key to understanding what makes rights meaningful in the real world. This concludes the assignment and exercise. This ends this Unit 24 overview quiz. Thank you for watching. Join us for Unit 25, where we connect the dots in the practical realm between believing, thinking, and acting correctly. In the meantime, ask yourself, if God-based rights are absolute and inalienable, don't the 5 key factors become irrelevant, since such rights are simply imposed from above, regardless of any reality-based context?